Well, hello there, everyone. How are you doing today on this super Sunday? It's February the 4th, year 2024. Year's already flying by. First month is done, and we're proceeding through the shortest month of the year with February. Hopefully doing outstanding. Yep, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for watching. I am Mazske Finance. I'm the blue collar guy. I've never made a lot of money in my life, but my net worth is well over 7 figures. Anyway, I can teach you how to invest. I can teach you how to become wealthy if you want. But I also talk to you about the country of Panama and some of my travels I make and how I do it for free at times. But in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the pros and cons of living in the country of Panama. And before I get started, because I do always touch on financial stuff and other topics, I'm Mazske Finance. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, okay? I'm just me. Take that for what it's worth. All right, so the pros and cons of Panama. What do you want me to start with? The good stuff or the bad stuff? Or kind of mix around in between them. I might do a little bit of both, who knows? And I jotted a few things down, so you may see me glance down. But I figure I just jotted a few things down, and then as I talk, I will cover more pros and cons, okay? Because things would just come to me. All right, so a couple of the pros, I'll start off with that. A couple of the pros. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country. All right, the people can be friendly, the people can be great, but like everywhere, crime is here. Crime is everywhere. But there's less crime here than it is in the United States of America. There may be less crime here than it is in your community. I don't know. But you always got to be aware there's no place in the world, literally, that there is zero crime. As long as you have human beings, you will have crime. Okay? That's a given. That's a fact. Prove me wrong. All right? All right, I digress. All right, why is Panama a beautiful country? What do you like about the world? What do you like about nature? What do you like about where you live at now? What are the good stuff and the bad stuff about where you live? Panama has big cities. It has Panama City. Panama City's 3 to 4 million people. Tourists coming in, international travelers, all kinds of people. All right, Panama has the city of David, spelled like David. Farther up in the Cherokee province, it's a big city. It's not as big as Panama City, but it's the second largest city in the country. All right, it has jungle, green, lots of greenery, jungle, tropical growth. It also has beaches. Think about it. Look on a map. Panama is a skinny country. It more or less goes east to west. Costa Rica is at the western border. Colombia is at the eastern border, kind of like that. Okay, so you have the Atlantic Ocean on one side, the Pacific Ocean on the other side. You can be at the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean in the same day. Okay, can you do that in the United States? Can you do that anywhere in the world? I don't know. Answer me. Let me know if you can. I'm not sure if you can. I don't think you can. I think Panama's about the only place. Except some of the other countries in Central America, perhaps, if you can make it across in a day. All right. It has mountains, jungles, beaches, big cities, small towns, countrified towns. It has cowboys. It has rodeos here. It has, if you travel like I did to Boquete, you will see people riding horseback along the road to get there and also in the Cherokee province. I don't think I've seen people on horseback around here. Not sure. I do see people on four-wheelers around here and golf carts in my community. I am in the beach community of Coronado. Okay, the beach community of Coronado. It's an expat community that can be good and bad. Do you want to be around expats? When I say expats, expats is short for like expatriate. But it's not just Americans, it's Canadians. There's a lot of Canadians here. I see more Canadians, I think, in my community than I see Americans. It's Europeans, it's Asians, it's folks from South America, it's folks from other countries in Central America, it's folks from Africa. I've met quite a few from South Africa that have moved here to Panama. My mechanic is from South Africa. All right. I met, if you watch my other video I made in Boquete, I became kind of like friends with a gentleman from Nicaragua. He immigrated. He got a scholarship as a young guy, went to college in the United States. He went to school primarily in California, then he also attended school in Miami, Florida a little bit. And now he's living in the country of Panama. He's been there for quite a number of years, I believe. All right. He may stop by and visit me down here. Just in a short period of time, became buddies. We had great conversations. All right. Another pro of Panama, it's cheaper than the United States as a whole. It's cheaper. However, with that being said, expats, you gotta love them, you gotta hate them, whatever you think. Expats have caused, they say, some prices to go up. In Boquete, it's a tad bit more expensive in restaurants, but you can find cheaper restaurants, a tad more expensive in hotels. I had a conversation with my Nicaraguan buddy about expats, because we had a conversation with a taxi driver, because I speak Spanish and my wife is a native Spanish speaker. She's from Panama. So we had a short conversation with a taxi driver we had up in the Boquete area, and he told us something interesting. He said that the expats that have come there have caused a lot of animosity, that's my word, with some of the locals, because they have overpaid for real estate property. They overpay on tips. They overpay their gardener, etc. Overpay the bagger in the grocery store. And it's caused, that dirty word, inflation. All right? Prices are higher in the area. So if you're the typical Panamanian, you're not making a lot of money, you're getting priced out of your market. Kind of, sort of. Okay? Panamanians can still live there, but they're not living in the castles, they're living in the Panamanian style house. But at the same time, the Nicaraguan buddy of mine told me there's a flip side to that. The inn I was staying in, beautiful inn, gardens were beautiful. All right? Who owns that? An American. A brewery that we stopped by just to say hi, to meet the person. Who owns that brewery? An American. Couple of restaurants we went to. Who owns those restaurants? Americans. Another restaurant we went to, where was this restaurant? It was owned by Costa Ricans. But what do all of these establishments do? They hire local Panamanians. There's a law in Panama. Every single company in Panama has to have something like, don't hold me to this, something like 85% of its employees have to be Panamanian. Have to be, by law, okay? So it creates jobs, right? But at the same time, prices might be more expensive. There's good and bad, okay? Panama is a tropical country. It's warm. But if you go up to Cherokee, if you go up into the mountains, and Panama is mountainous. Panama has beaches on both sides, mountains in the middle, so it's very mountainous. Mountains are always cooler. If you go to Boquete, Alto Boquete, we stayed in Alto Boquete. Alto Boquete is a rainforest. It gets more rain there than anywhere in the country, up in that general area. While we were there, you see me here, short sleeves. I have shorts on, I have flip-flops on, my swimming pool's right out there. Okay? While I was up there, I was wearing long pants, short sleeve shirt, perhaps with a long sleeve pullover, kind of like not a sweatshirt, but kind of like a jacket type thing, a fleece pullover, because it was cold. And in the evenings, we were sitting by a fire because it was chilly. Not cold, but it was like, it got down low 60s, high 50s at night, middle of the night when you're sleeping. And daytime temperatures might have been in the mid 70s. Some people say that's perfect. If you're outdoors in the mid 70s, you're high up, the elevation's higher, that sun's hot. Even though it's in the mid 70s, here's in the upper 80s, it's still hot up there in that sunshine. The food's great. It's not the fine dining that you may see in some places, but the food is outstanding. You can go in an expat restaurant, excuse me, and pay not quite American prices, just a notch below. You can go in a nice restaurant and pay big bucks. You can go in a fonda. Right outside on the Inter-American Highway down from where I live at Coronado. Like literally, I could almost walk to it once I get out there. It's very close. They got a sign, Criolla Comida, for $3.50. I assume it's probably rice and beans with some meat, $3.50. I haven't stopped there yet. Other fondas are like $5, rice and beans, $5. We ate in a Panamanian style restaurant in Boquete. Was that the one owned by Costa Ricans? I can't remember. We paid maybe $8 a meal, something like that. $8 a plate. Not $5. It was a little more, but it was still nice. It was very, very great setting. flowers. Boquete, that area is flowers. It's lots of color and flowers. Do you like swimming pools? From Panama City, rooftop swimming pools. Where I'm at, swimming pool. Even up in Boquete, there's swimming pools. It's cold up there though. All right. Some of the cons and more cons, I'd say, mixed in with the good stuff. Roads are bad. When I say roads are bad, if I go over to Gorgona, I'm driving like this, avoiding the potholes, the craters. I mean, like literally, it's bad. It's bad. If I'm here in Coronado, it's like, you ever heard of saying like I've heard this back when I was a kid. It'll shake your fillings out of your teeth if you got any because the road's so bumpy. You know, and right out when I'll make a video one day walking from my house. I got 2 blocks to walk to get to the paved road, and my road is quite rocky. It's dirt with rocks, and it's quite rocky. I gotta be careful to make a video though. I don't want to step on a rock that like twist an ankle or something. But when I get out to the paved road, I call that Millionaire's Row, just a joke. Because some of those houses are mansions. Literally, they're beachfront. I'm like 2 blocks from the beach, but I can't cut straight 2 blocks. But they're mansions. They're big. They're gigantic. I don't know what they sell for, but they're big. But on that road, there's speed bumps. They keep the speed slow. They're speed bumps. And if you're trying to drive, as soon as you speed up a little bit, you're speed bump. All right. When you get out to kind of the main road to get into Coronado's gated community, that's where maximum speed limit is 50 kilometers. 50 kilometers is roughly 30 miles per hour. It's bumpy as anything. They fill the potholes in, but by filling the potholes in, they're not putting asphalt. They're just packing in gravel or something. It's bumpy. It's bumpy. All right. Top speed in the country is 100 kilometers. That's top speed. 100 kilometers is approximately 62.3 miles per hour. If you're an American and you're used to the highway system of the United States of America, top speed, some places 75, some places might be 90, whatever it might be. Okay. But the highways in the United States are smooth for the most part. You get in New York City and some other places. There's always like a pothole, especially up north. Potholes will develop. All right. But top speed's 100, but the speed varies. It'll go 100 to 60 to 50 to 40 to 60 to 50 to 80. And you can't set your cruise control, and you can't miss the speed limit sign, because if you miss one, Transito police, they'll be out there with their radar guns and they'll get you. Speeding ticket usually costs about $50, probably cheaper than the US, but you get 5 points on your license. But I looked into this. To get suspended, you got to have, I think, 35 points. So you get 7 speeding tickets before you get suspended. Okay, just something to stick in the back of your mind. Don't try to get 0 speeding tickets. So watch those signs. But you also see speed limit might be 60, which is approximately 36 miles an hour, roughly. So it's not very fast. And then you'll see resume your speed or reduce your speed. But it doesn't tell you what to reduce it to. And then it might say resume your speed, and then immediately following the resume your speed, it might say 60 kilometers. Or it might say 80. And then it might say reduce your speed. And it's like, it's confusing. All right? So be careful if you're driving. All right? Another negative to the country, but it's also a positive. Panama does not have a military. Okay? They have a police force. I don't think every police officer carries a gun. I don't think, remember, crime is less than in the U.S. Guns, you cannot ship a gun into the country of Panama. You cannot bring a gun on an airplane into the country of Panama. You cannot bring a gun through customs into the country of Panama, which can be a good thing. All right. But there are guns here. If I wanted to, I think I've been here long enough, almost. I could apply to get a permit to own guns, and then I have to buy them. They can order them through a Panamanian gun store. They can be, I think, almost any kind of, there's limits on guns, but anyway. What the Panamanians will do, if they get upset with the government over something, because governments are known to be corrupt, even in the United States, they're corrupt. They're corrupt here in Panama. They will protest. They will organize a protest, and the way they protest to get the attention, and it works, is to block the streets. There's one main road through the country of Panama. It's called the Inter-American Highway. It connects all the way up to Texas. All right? They'll block it all over. And if you're blocking it in Panama City, and you're blocking it out of Rihan, and you're blocking it up here, and you're blocking up there, and you're blocking up there, and you're blocking it there, and you're blocking other streets, you shut down travel. You shut down the trucks, etc., etc., etc. It can cause some problems. But for the most part, it's very peaceful protesting. There's not the violence that you'll see in the United States. Okay? You also have animals. You have chickens and roosters. I like roosters. I like hearing them crow. You have dogs. I like dogs. You have cats. I like cats. But you have a lot of stray dogs. You have a lot of stray cats. They're everywhere. We rented an Airbnb one time up in the small town of Panama a year or so ago. We were in the town. We had a nice house. It used to be owned by an American, but he died or something. But he had slightly Americanized the house, and it was a decent house. I liked it. Our very first night there, when we went to bed, it was 2:00 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. We woke up and it sounded like dogs were barking right in my ear. It sounded like roosters were crowing right in my ear, because our house had that beautiful empty lot next to us and around us, where the chickens from up this house could walk down that lot, and dogs from all around, because everybody has a dog, they all just started barking, and I was like, how are we going to sleep? But then as our week went by, we got used to it, and that first night was the worst, I think, because it got better. Okay? That can happen anywhere. Fireworks can be anywhere at any time. There will be fireworks during the holidays. This house where I'm at is probably one of the quietest spots I could get in Panama, kind of, for this kind of community. Even on New Year's Eve, it was very quiet here comparatively. It was louder in Southwest Florida where I lived than it was here. Okay? But fireworks will be around. Horns, you will hear horns much more here than you hear in the U.S. I blow my horn more here. When I spent 2.5 years living here, all my years living back in the U.S., I noticed I would use my horn more than the typical American, and sometimes Americans give you dirty looks because they don't like that horn. But here, they use a horn a lot, especially in Panama City, but all over. If you're going to swing out and pass somebody, they normally give a little boop boop, just a little toot, horn toot, kind of letting you know there's not a mean thing. They're just letting you know they're coming by. Especially, like, say on the Coronado Road, the bumpy road. I will get behind cars myself or trucks myself that are going, speed limit is 50 kilometers. They might be going 20 kilometers. They don't like the bumps. I know how kind of to minimize the bumps, and I may pass them. Okay, you can pass. But at times I may be doing 45, 50 kilometers, and a taxi will come up and just whoo. But also motorcycles, there's a lot of motorcycles, delivery drivers who are on motorcycles. They always, you could be doing 50, they pass you. You could be doing 20, they pass you. You could be doing faster than 50, they pass you. I used to drive a motorcycle in Panama. I know what it's like. So anyway, this is getting long, isn't it? But there's pros and cons to every country in the world, literally, okay? Panama, a lot of expats love Panama because of the weather. If you live in the United States of America or Canada or over in Europe, and it gets cold like snowing and freezing and ice, you don't have it in Panama. You don't have snow, you don't have ice, you don't have freezing temperatures. Okay? You have beaches on the Atlantic side, you have beaches on the Pacific side. You have tropical islands in a variety of different locations. You have tour services you can use. You have adventure tours. You have zip lining things you can do. You have whitewater rafting. You have bird watching, beach walking, fine dining, boat tour out to Monkey Island. You can go see the Panama Canal, the Miraflores locks, and other locks. You can go up to Boquete and go in the rainforest and experience different things. You go to coffee plantations. I forgot to mention there's a lot of coffee all over Cherokee. There's coffee plantations. We stopped by 2 different coffee plantations. Lots of coffee plants. If you like coffee, and if you don't like coffee, it's still fascinating to see it. It's good to learn. Learn about as much as you can. If you like, and I'll digress just a bit, if you like politics, and you're a diehard this, learn about this. If you are diehard eating pizza, we'll learn a little bit about eating something different. If you are a strict vegetarian, learn a little bit about other ways of eating and figure out, do you want to bring a little bit into it? Just learn the other. If you're a certain religion, learn about the other religions. Okay? Never stop learning. The problem, I'll generalize, with a lot of people in the whole world, and especially with Americans, they are one-sided. One-sided. It's a big world out there, folks. I met, just in the past couple days in Boquete, a nice couple from Belgium. I met a nice couple from Amsterdam. I met a nice couple from the United States, first time coming to Panama. And I forget everybody else I met. Living here on the beach community, I meet a whole bunch of people. I was talking to a Colombian guy last night, and so on and so on. Panama is a diverse community, very diverse. Panama does not have natural disasters like other places do. Yes, it may have little earthquakes, but they're usually not bad. But it doesn't have hurricanes. I don't think they have tornadoes, I don't believe. They don't have blizzards. They have rainy season and dry season. Dry season is right now. It's summertime here. It does get breezy. Both here and up in the mountains, it can get windy. And so on and so on and so on. I encourage you to visit. I mentioned in another video, Panama relocation tours. If you've never been to the country of Panama, I encourage you, check them out. Check them out. They're not the only one, but they are transparent in what they do. They do charge. I looked at the website today. It's $25 for one person, $4,000 for another, for two people. But they cover all expenses. Once you get to Panama, they cover all of your lodging, all of your transportation. They put you on one of the big air-conditioned buses. All your food, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And they take you from Panama City to this general community where I'm living at, the beach community. They might take you down the Oswego Peninsula. They'll take you up to Santiago, or then they take you up to David. You go all the way up to Volcan, close to Costa Rica. And they'll wrap it up there in Boquete. And the final day, they'll take you by shuttle to the airport in David, where they'll fly you back. It's included. Fly you back down to Panama City. And then you can do what you want. If you go back home, wherever you came from, it's like a week-long type thing. Or some folks, what they'll do, you can stay, if people want to stay in the Boquete area, David, they can stay there up to a couple more weeks, couple more months, and still get an included flight from David back down to Panama City, because Panama City is the big hub to fly out to back to the U.S. or Canada or Europe, something like that. All right, but Panama, look at it, Panama on a map. Bocas del Toro, it's an island community. San Blas, the Darien Gap. Look at news in the U.S., you'll hear about the Darien Gap because the immigrants are coming through it. They always say stay out of the Darien Gap. It's dangerous because of the way it's a jungle. And you got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of immigrants from South America and other places going through the Darien Gap. And once they get through it, Panama stops them. They put them on buses. They got an agreement with Costa Rica. They put them on buses. They bus them through the country of Panama, drop them off to the Costa Ricans. They bus them through their country to whatever the next country is, and then they drop them off. And I think from there, they walk and try to get to the United States. But Panama has a strict immigration policy. They get them through. Illegal immigrants, they're strict. But if you're an American, you can travel to Panama. If you're not an American, look up the laws. If you're an American, you can travel to Panama with just your passport, and you can stay for a maximum of 180 days. You can drive on your U.S. driver's license for a maximum of 90 days. Okay? I don't know why it's 90 and 180, but that's how it is. I think a lot of the other countries you can stay a maximum of 90 days, not 180. But Americans in Panama, they kind of have a strong relationship, going back over 100 years. Okay? I know it's gotten very long. Sorry about that. Hopefully I gave you some kind of pertinent information. If you've never heard of Panama, now you have. If you're interested in Panama, let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email. My email is always in the description below. It's mazkefinance@gmail.com. All right, and with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up and see how long this video takes to upload. Have a great day. Maskies signing out.